Well, hey, how are you? It's Claire from Class Action Fitness. I wanted to talk a little bit about anaerobic training. I posted a video about aerobic training and what that is and how important it is to improve our cardiovascular system. And I remember, I was a very active kid. I grew up in a family with very active parents. We always were outside playing and riding bikes and playing tennis and played sports when I was a young adult. And I still love all of that. But I can remember my first aerobic dance class. I took an aerobics class out of the blue with one of my sisters. And I went to this class, and here we were in a room dancing around in leotards, and I thought that's what aerobic meant. I didn't know aerobic meant, with oxygen, exercising with oxygen. And then I became extremely excited to learn about the human body, and then went on to college to get my degree in exercise science and nutrition. And obviously now you know what I do for a living. So studying the human body is, for me, very interesting. It's exciting, and I love to learn every day. I've been in this field for over 35 years, and I still love to learn. So I'm hoping that I'm teaching you a few things to help you continue on with your fitness journey. So remember, aerobic means with oxygen. It doesn't mean dancing around in a room with leotard and leg warmers like we used to see all the time. The anaerobic training that I talked about basically improves your general fitness, your cardiovascular system. Very important. Your body's using oxygen as a fuel, your body uses oxygen, and then you end up using fat as a fuel source. So that's long duration exercise, very, very important for the cardiovascular system. But we also have something called anaerobic training. And anaerobic training, most of us would think of as losing your breath, some sort of sprinting, running upstairs, hard mountain climbing. Your body takes in less oxygen. You use less fat as a fuel source. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's limited duration. You can't go for very long. It's really when you're going all out. It builds stronger muscles. It gets you completely out of breath. It does usually create soreness for most people the next day. It's a lot, you need longer time to recover from anaerobic training. What we see today in the fitness industry is HIIT everything. HIIT classes are out there like crazy. And what we got to remind ourselves is anaerobic training breaks our body down pretty fast. You do need recovery. So doing a HIIT class every single day is not really ideal for your body. And I'll talk a little bit here about this. So remember that aerobic training is long distance, body uses fat as a fuel source, tends to be a lower heart rate. Your anaerobic training is when you use less oxygen. You are not using body fat, as much body fat as your fuel source. You are building stronger muscles, but that's because you're breaking them down, and you need recovery after doing that. So where should your heart rate be when you exercise? There's a lot of theories out there, right? So when I went to college, we learned a lot. Prior to that, I would go to aerobic classes, and we were told, oh, it's 220 minus your age equals your maximal heart rate. So I'll show you my little formula here. And this is probably backwards, so I apologize, but 220 minus your age equals your maximal heart rate. All right, that would mean, I'm 56. That would mean 220 minus 56 is 164. Every single person that is 56 years old would have a maximal heart rate of 164. It would also mean that the only time your heart rate changes is on your birthday, okay? So if that was true, my heart rate would be 98 to 140 beats per minute. 60%, which is the lower end, where my body's gonna use a lot of fat as a fuel source, and 85 would be considered my top end. Okay, that's not what my heart rates are. In fact, my rate now, my low is 128 and my high is 175. The reason I know what mine are is I have had multiple VO2 max tests done. And that's when I get on the treadmill. There's a mask on my face, like we all wear today, but it's a little bit different mask. And I'm taking in oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. And what that's doing is, as I continue exercising and the intensity of the treadmill is increased, my tester, Lori, is watching when my body switches from burning body fat into burning carbohydrates as a fuel source. There's nothing wrong with any of it. It's just she's trying to tell me, here, Claire, when you go out and exercise and you wear a heart rate monitor, which I do wear, these are your heart rate training zones, okay? So we do those here at the gym, and then our clients get a little app, and it shows you, so these two areas, I'm not very good at technology. These two areas right here are my low training zones. All right, and that's when I can talk in sentences, and the exercise is easy. The recovery the next day is very, very easy. I'm burning a high percentage of body fat. Okay, right in here's my aerobic base. All right, I feel good when I'm exercising, and it's a fantastic workout, easy, and can be done daily. And those are my long duration exercises, my long distant bike rides, walking. Usually walking doesn't get me anywhere, but, and it doesn't mean it doesn't get me anywhere, but for me personally, it does not get my heart rate up. But those are the exercises that I can do. And as I said, I ride my bike for transportation. So usually I'm aerobic the whole time I ride my bike down here. Then there's my anaerobic training. That's where I have to get way outside my comfort zone. I have to find hills to climb, run up stairs, go for a run, do battling ropes, do ball slams, do jumping jacks, things that increase my heart rate and make the workout a little bit more difficult. So to give you an idea, this would be a normal mountain bike ride for me, where we would be going up and down just some light rolling hills, but out in the woods, going through switchbacks, getting ourselves there to and from the location, because I don't want to put my bike in a car to take it to go ride it. So I tend to ride my bike either to Bloomer or Stony Creek on a very regular basis to get back in the woods. Now I also have to do anaerobic training. I need to do something that's going to get my heart rate higher. And I want to break my muscles down. That's very, very important. I don't want to do it every day. So now when you look at my other training zones, I got to get it up in here. So when I get in here, I'm burning less and less body fat, which is okay. And in here, I'm not burning body fat. I'm using carbohydrates or muscle glycogen, however you want to word it. I'm just trying to make this easy. But anyways, so when I get up in here, I'm losing my breath here. I'm really losing my breath. But I get up in here, my sentences are going to be much shorter. I'm going to have to take maybe a break or two when we're back in the trails just to catch my breath. There's one hill that we climb that always gets me in the red, and I love it. I love that feeling because that's the endorphins. And so that will give you an idea when I ride. So this is one of my rides that was very, very challenging. It was a 1 hour and 2 minutes. It tells me 721 calories, which I know is pretty accurate because, again, my VO2 max testing. And then you can see all the colors here. And these, when I get into the red, that's when we were climbing up some hills. And I'm one of those people, I tend to climb a hill, go back down, and go back up it again. I like to conquer a hill. And yeah, I sometimes have to walk them, especially when we're back out in the woods. I have to get off my bike and walk my bike up a hill when there's a lot of dirt and mud. And that's okay. I don't mind. I tend to go back down and try it again. So those types of exercise, that anaerobic exercise, the sprinting, the running stairs, those are the ones that are going to challenge you. So those are the type of exercise that break the body down. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you repair and build and get stronger. When I talked about aerobic exercise, walking, and I gave that example, if we went for a walk, and that's what we did for exercise, and the next day we had to shovel snow, we would be compromising our cardiovascular system because we are not training it on a regular basis for that type of intensity. That's what this is all about. This workout, the types of exercises that get you in those higher heart rate zones, the ones that are safe and effective, but not to be done daily, Those are the ones that are going to help you then go out and shovel snow or run through the airport with your suitcases when you're late for a plane. Those are the ones that create that strong cardiovascular system to prevent damage to the heart when you do something challenging. I'm hoping this is making some sense. You have to be careful when you go to any place, it doesn't matter where it is, and work out, and someone tells you what your zones are or what your heart rate should be. The only way they really know that is if you have testing done, which we do here. I encourage my clients to be tested every year to 2 years. Is somebody who's a beginner, I like them to at least test twice in a year, because there's going to be major changes to a beginner when it comes to their heart rate. If they're starting a workout program, they're going to see fantastic changes and results right away. Athletes, it's a little bit different. For us to get our heart rates up there is very, very hard to do. So we don't see those major changes in our bodies as easily as a beginner. Very important information. So again, there's nothing wrong with aerobic exercise. I do a lot of it. There's nothing wrong with anaerobic exercise. That you cannot do every day. And people who do usually suffer from a lot of injuries. They suffer from burnout. They become moody. You can tell when somebody, they tend to not want to exercise after a while. When I get somebody who's doing a lot of HIIT all the time, they start to lose their positivity towards exercise, because it's challenging. It's challenging to the body, it's challenging to the mind. And over time, it becomes so much work. It's not fun anymore. So I try to do both. As I said, I love to ride my bike, so I'd like to have some easy, long bike rides where the next day I'm excited to ride my bike again. And then I love to get out in the woods and challenge myself, because that keeps me excited about changing my body, being more fit, increasing the amount of stress my heart can take. But at the same time, you've got to watch the burnout. All right, so your anaerobic exercises are short in duration. A lot of times it can be 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It's going to be shorter. If you're doing sprint intervals, obviously you're sprinting for 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds, whatever it is, and then you take a break. So those are shorter workouts, which they're designed to be. They're not supposed to be every single day. And you want to be able to recover from them. And you really want to push yourself to what your body can do and then take it to the next level. So again, if you've been walking for exercise and all of a sudden decide to start sprinting up hills or running stairs, you're gonna find that it's miserable, because you went from 0 to 100. You've got to do it in baby steps. And a lot of times I'll ride my bike to a track and I'll do a track workout with some sprinting, and then I'll ride my bike back home. And my sprinting might be just, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes total, meaning 20 seconds at a time. It doesn't matter. It depends on what else I'm trying to do that day. But I always have goals with exercise. You should have a goal with your exercise. You should be following some sort of training program. But again, be careful that you have balance. That balance is extremely important. So hopefully that made some sense to you. If you have any questions, contact me. Have a great day. Bye.